Good morning, afternoon, or evening, Libra sun, moon, and rising. Welcome to your reading for summer 2021. We're going to go ahead and dive into the astrology and tarot from the period lasting from now until September 6th, when we have a new moon in Virgo, your neighboring sign, by the way. So, Libra. Libra, I feel like you're learning how to be on your own. You're learning how to be relaxed and getting comfortable with yourself. Libra, I feel like for the first time in your life, you're learning how to be a little bit more selfish. And life is opening up in such a way that you're being forced to express yourself, to be a little bit bolder, not be so placid or harmonious, but to have that fire, to finally have that sense of excitement, or perhaps willpower for things. So let's pull the tarot. Let's go ahead and pull the tarot. So what has been a recent obstacle for you, Libra? Oh. Two cards come out. I think this is the first reading where we have a pair. So, recent obstacle. It seems like you're having, so there's either, I feel like you're refusing to let go of a difficult experience because it has to do with a relationship, either with family members or romantic relationships. There seems to have been a relationship or a dynamic that was very hard on you, and you're still attached to it, and you're still not letting go of it, but it's way past you. It's physically, externally, it's not there anymore, so you can allow yourself to release it. But something tells me you're still thinking about it. You're pondering about it, reliving the role of you're replaying your part in that dynamic, in your vulnerable world. So this has been what you've been working on, looking at options in your life. And this card wants to come out. Another pair. Okay. So you've been for some reason you're trying, I think what you've been trying to do, Libra, now is you've been a little bit, how do I say, desperate. You're chasing for things that aren't really around or there, or you're unhappy with yourself right now because you're not used to perhaps being completely independent right now. So it's almost like you're looking for things to fulfill you that aren't really authentically fulfilling, but you're needing to, I think what you should make an effort on is to have the clarity of mind right now. And yet you're so focused on all of these vain and superficial drugs, figurative drugs, in terms of relationships, and they're not gonna make you truly content. So be very careful about this stuff, because it seems like you're being drawn in a very unconscious way to repeat the same pattern of that. It's almost like this is a symptom. This is a symptom of not wanting to let go of this shit that you are so tied to. It might, like I said, could be even family members. You might have lost a family member by death. I don't know. If you did, I'm sorry. My condolences, but this could even be a family member that was very toxic. So in a certain way, this loss has opened up the space that you deserve to breathe in. If not, then this is a relationship that abruptly ended. And they were unfair to you because they didn't get what they want out of you, so they immediately left, and you gave so much of yourself in that relationship, and there's a compulsion perhaps to go after the same pattern, and you're not even realizing it. So what is our focus? There's too many cards. There's a bunch of cards coming out. What is our focus for Libra for the months of July, August, and early September? Page of Cups upright. So the focus for you is to be comfortable with yourself emotionally. Okay with the fact that you're alone for now, that you're independent, that you're single, or living your own life without concern for other people. Page of Cups is looking at its own emotional lot. It's not, it's being the fool in terms of creativity and love, and in an intuitive way of being a fool, of being interested by what genuinely motivates you. Well, what genuinely makes you feel content? What are you inspired by? What makes you feel like you're blooming? Page of Cups isn't actively looking for other people, unlike the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is sort of the courteous individual, where they're being open to seeking other people, and they're receptive, and at the same time they're making moves, and they have a certain skill for attracting people. But the Page of Cups is doing its own thing. Page of Cups, although you might be interested in new experiences and wanting a better relationship, let's say, or to have a loving figurative family member, Page of Cups isn't putting that as a priority. They're prioritizing their own emotional well by busying themselves with activities and interests that you can take up now that are of creative and musical nature or artistic. So Page of Cups is your focus, Libra, to find a hobby or a passion activity that you can put your mind and heart in while you're getting used to finding this newfound freedom from being on your own. And the Page of Cups is alone. But if you refuse to do that, if you decide that you're going to do the same thing and desperately look for someone that can take advantage of you or belittle you, you run into the danger of losing all self-respect by the end of the transit. I would even say getting into a worse dynamic. This might be a point of no, you might run into the possibility of being manipulated, of not even being respected by the other person that you want to love, and yet they're not reciprocating. They don't even provide that equal amount, far from that amount of level that you're providing. So be very careful. Chiron is in Aries, so this is your opposing sign of relationships. You're healing in that area. And it's been aspecting Saturn recently. So in terms of romantic relationships, they've definitely felt limited. And you've been needing to pay a little bit more attention as to why that is. Why you're allowing for these things to happen. So if you do happen to be more creative, and if you do focus on these creative endeavors that are making you your heart stir, if you practice the creativity that your ruler Venus brings in a natural way, you'll be able to pay less attention to the past and to pay less attention by the illusions of happiness, so that you don't get pulled into this toxic pettiness about, I did this for you and you didn't do this for me, or all of these expectations that you're wanting from others, or the expectations that other people have on you that they're not getting out of you. If you do happen to listen to the higher call, what awaits you by the end of this transit, when the new moon in Virgo occurs in your 12th house? Page of Pentacles reversed occurs for you. So we go from the King of Pentacles to the Page of Pentacles. So from the danger of being completely manipulated, having no self-respect, to re-examining, redefining your sense of worth. I think that by the new moon in Virgo, you're finally going to you're going to be focusing a little bit more on your career, your vocation, your home, your finances, anything that is material, physical. You're going to be taking care of that, finally paying attention to it. And I don't think so. There's not going to be a huge improvement. I don't think you're going to necessarily get some it's not, how do I say this? You're finally going to put more time into your talents and gifts, into your sense of structure in your life. It's just about to start at that point again. But the months of July and August are for you to spend time with your emotional self right now. You're starting there. You're trying to understand your sense of fulfillment from being alone rather than being dependent on other people. And it's going to take a lot of time, I think, for you to reconnect with your own inherent value. So this is going to be a very slow build-up for you, Libra. I don't think you're going to immediately experience massive changes throughout summer and early fall. I think that it's definitely going to be a gradual process. So you're finally making room for what brings you a sense of purpose. You know, where do you find your own curiosity? What sparks interest for you other than relationships? Because we're looking at young people, adolescent figures, you know, we're starting fresh. We're being a little bit more youthful, putting other relationships on hold for now. What lies in your subconscious? 7 of Wands. So you want your life to get moving. There's a certain level of impatience. 7 of Wands. Did I say 7? It's the 8 of Wands, sorry. The 8 of Wands in your subconscious is saying that you're hoping that your life is going to expand so much more and better and quicker, and I don't think it's going to happen. To be completely honest, you're being forced to be slower, to follow your own spirit at its own natural pace. So if you're having feelings of FOMO, it's time to let them dissipate, because there's not going to be a whole lot of activity in your life right now. This is a time for you. Summer 2021 is a time for you to take things slow with the pages. What is an insight card for you? Angel of Visions. Ramil? Angel of Visions. So, where do you see yourself? Where do you envision yourself if you take the time? If you don't rush, and if you stop envisioning all the scenarios that you think you want, if you take your time, with this slower pace that we're going after, where do you envision yourself when you're finding internal serenity? What if you took a different way? So rather than having all of these preconceived scenarios, what if you took the opposite turn? Where you don't believe it's going to work out, but what if you did? What if you actually believed that that opposite way would work out? Because there seems to be a genuine interest for that opposite way. You just don't have the patience, I think, to put the effort into it. I think that you're lacking patience, Libra. And so there's a need for you to not even notice the time of the day go by, to be completely immersed in your own oasis. And from there, to assess what you've got in your oasis before you go back into the desert and go after the next journey, right? Reassemble what you've got. All the fruits from the oasis, your clothing, take your time. Let's go a different route. A route that you can't easily envision, that isn't predictable. So, and I think that by the new moon in Virgo, you'll finally figure out where you really feel you should be going. And it's going to be new. I definitely think it's not going to be the same. But right now is a time for you to breathe the breeze. And I'll leave it at that. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, thank you for watching. And I hope you have a wonderful summer. Take it easy. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.